What's up, guys? Naz here with Fitness Motivate, and as you can see, I'm outside Crunch here, just about to get my workout on. And we are hitting legs today. I want to show you a good leg workout, and I want to kind of dispel some of the myths about leg training, because you're going to hear a lot of BS. There's a lot of bro science out there and just a lot of stuff that doesn't work. So number one, training heavy is the only way to grow. No, that's not the best way to get your legs to grow. It's time under tension, and that's for any type of hypertrophy, but legs in specific seem to respond best at time under tension. Now, there is a time and place for heavy weight training. So this is the third video in my workout split series. I'm going to get a new workout out each week. I post regularly on Instagram as well, so you can follow me at Naz Training, N-A-Z Training on Instagram, and you'll see a lot more frequent posts. But I'm going to do a full workout once a week, focus on a different body part or a different technique on a body part, or a different way to group muscles together. So I'll be posting a new workout on here each week. And right now I have a chest and arms workout and a back and shoulders workout from the past few weeks that I put up. So I'll link those in the description below. Make sure to check those videos out. This is a full leg day. It's not hamstring or quad focused, so it's going to be the entire leg. I'm even going to throw some calf work in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Girl, you got me shook from the way your body looks. Got me riding hooks, got me feeling like a rook. I don't do it by the book, but for you I'll take a look. Don't know what your mama took, sweet and spicy like a cook, yeah. I'll keep it real, let's make a deal. Buy you a meal if you just let me feel. Get out your heels, grab on the wheel. Back to my place at the top of the hill. Don't have regrets, I know what's next. She need a fresh, I'll be back in a sec. Look at them legs, don't make me beg. Back to the room, let me show you my bed. Yeah, your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. I could look at you all day, watch the way them hips sway. Love your body, so I pray, don't you dare take it away. Can't control what I say, lost my mind cause your frame. Hey girl, what's your name? Lit me up just like a flame. Body in motion, I feel the commotion, be on you like lotion. I'm honest and broken, I flow like the ocean. I feel you were chosen to fix me, I'm broken. My heart that you stolen, hey. Stay with me, play with me, lay with me. Hate to see when you leave, chemistry feels like it's destiny. I just want you laying next to me, and I really don't want you to ever leave. On your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything you do, I can't seem to get enough. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Touching on your body feels like taking on a drug. You got me feeling good, yeah, you got me feeling numb. Everything.
Strengthening your glutes is so important for so many reasons. It'll help prevent lower back pain and really help your performance with almost any other exercise. So I like to make sure I'm getting some glute work, whether it's isolation or just from kettlebell swings and deadlifts. But this machine really does well to target the glutes, the same as a barbell hip thrust would, but making sure we're doing it correctly. We're not overly taxing the lower back. Now, if you typically feel your lower back when you're doing these, the problem is you're going into excessive lumbar extension, which is making up for the weakness in your glutes. So you're not fully going into hip extension. So we want to focus on hip extension without the lumbar extension. So the way to do that is you want to fully brace your abs. Make sure you're keeping your abs tight, like you just did a crunch. So keeping the stomach pulled in and the abs crunched and tight as you're performing the movement. So you're only feeling the glutes. You shouldn't be feeling your lower back tense up. So the Bulgarian Split Squat, or rear foot elevated split squat here, is one of my go-to leg exercises. I like this for a couple reasons. First off, it puts a good stretch in the hip flexor, which traditionally for athletes or heavy lifters are going to be very tight. You're going to be using your hip flexors a lot doing squats, any ab work, or running type movements. So putting good stretch in the hip flexor at the same time as working the glutes is going to help with a lot of the muscle imbalances that most athletes are going to experience. Now, another reason I really like this exercise is the intensity that it works the legs. So similar to a lunge, you're really going to tax the legs with a lot lower weight requirement than you'd use on a barbell squat, which means it's not placing as much shear pressure on the spine. So I really like this variation of the goblet squat with the heels elevated on the plate to target the quads. You have to go fairly high reps just because you're going to be limited by the amount of weight that you can increase with dumbbells versus a barbell front squat. So I stay high reps. I'm doing 30 reps on my first set with an 80-pound dumbbell, 20 reps in the second set with a 100-pound dumbbell, and then 15 with the 120-pound dumbbell for my final set. You can see I'm trying to go as low as possible, keeping an upright posture, of course. And I'm trying to keep constant tension on the quads, so you can see there's no pause at the top. So there's no resting. So we want to get a good squeeze and then right back into the next rep. Keeping constant muscle tension on those quads. You will feel your glutes driving a lot as well from the bottom, especially going low. So it is a good glute activation exercise, even though we are focusing more on the quads.
I just wanna feel alive.
And I'm the one to get it, bro. I swear to God, I get it, bro. So don't just let me get it.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna get it,
yeah. I'm the one to get it, bro. I swear to God, I'll get it, bro. Hey, I ain't never giving up. Yeah, I never give up. Fake it till I make it. Motherfucking take it back from these haters. Playing tracks for the traitors. Got the passion and that's when it happens. Factions take actions, drafting their captains. It's happening, I'm raising my status, facing the madness. I'm out gaining traction, avoid the distractions. I'm snapping, no captions, attracting reactions. Adapting, attacking, commanding the masses. I'm practicing habits, I don't fucking ask it, I just fucking grab it. I am never static, massively active, expanding, backslid, planning to have it. So I will go capture it and I'ma stay after it. I'm gonna fucking master it, put them on blast it. They will never last it, don't be so dramatic. Not my demographic, this shit is democratic. They phone effects, yeah bitch.
To get the most out of the leg press, we really want to focus on time under tension versus throwing the most amount of weight on there. So leg press is an exercise where you will be able to use quite a bit of weight. But regardless of how much weight you're using, the most important factor is going to be the time under tension. So I would prefer to use a lighter poundage and do higher reps. It's going to be easier on the joints, so you can focus more on the muscle and not really worry about the weight, where it just becomes an ego thing. So focusing on a full range of motion and consistent repetition. You notice I'm not pausing at the bottom or the top. I'm just keeping that muscle under tension. So doing 20 to 30 reps here, it's going to be a lot more painful than trying to do 5 to 8 repetitions with a lot more weight. So I'm supersetting it with calf raises here to save some time. So it's a good tool. You can get 2 exercises in one basically. And with the calf raises, I just want to focus on making sure I'm getting a full range of motion again, focusing on that lowering phase, getting a good stretch at the bottom, and then a good squeeze at the top. to get the most out of the calf raises.
They don't know just what I'm like on the inside. If you knew what I could do, you'd watch your backside. If you knew what I could do, you'd stay in at night. I'm the type of dude you don't wanna fuck with. I'm the type of dude enough is enough, bitch. I'm the type of dude who never gets...
Isolation exercises like leg extensions and leg curls can play a really important part in your leg training. They can really help show the definition in your quads and hamstrings when performed correctly. Now, the most common mistake I see with leg extensions in particular is just piling on the weight and not really focusing on the muscle as much, just kind of throwing them around for quick sloppy reps. So time under tension again is going to be key, especially with these isolation movements. So making sure we feel each and every rep. So slow is key. Feel that squeeze. So each and every rep, you can see here, I'm making sure I get a full contraction. I'm squeezing, I'm coming down all the way, getting a good stretch. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do these. I like doing single-legged like I'm doing here to make sure that I'm firing each leg and I'm just trying to address those left-right imbalances. You know, we're all going to have one side that's a little stronger than the other. For me, actually, my left side tends to be dominant when it comes to legs. I've had some injuries to the right knee and leg in general, so typically my left side is stronger. For the hamstring curls, same thing. Like, I've had multiple hamstring injuries over the years that have slowed down my training on hamstrings, so I have to really warm these up. And I like the single-legged with a really light weight to make sure they're really firing. So I'll do single-legged. And the reason I'm not going down to full extension here is I do still have some pain towards the full extension, so I make sure that I avoid any movement that is painful on the tendons in general. So I'm avoiding that full extension here, not because I am opposed to fully extending. I actually prefer to be able to get a full stretch in each movement, but more so to keep my hamstrings healthy. So I do as many as it takes to really get them feeling warm, and I'll typically do between 2 and 3 sets of single-legged before moving on to the double, just getting a good squeeze. Just going back and forth between the leg extensions and leg curls to finish off this workout, just to make sure we're really targeting each one, feeling each and every rep here, and really trying to get those quads feathering. The calves can be a difficult muscle group to target for a couple different reasons, and the first being is the function of the ankle that the muscles act on. So if you think about the gastroc, the primary function is going to be to extend at the ankle joint or point the toe, and then the anterior tibialis, which would be the opposing or antagonist muscle, would be dorsiflexing the ankle or picking the toe up. So those are typically the main muscles we think of. Then, of course, there's the soleus, which is an underlying muscle which supports the gastroc. Now, thinking about muscle function and the ankle range of motion, it's not a hinge joint like the elbow or the knee. So when we think about the function and the movement of the ankle, first off, we want to make sure that you have proper movement, that you're able to turn your ankle in and out so you can fully use all those muscle fibers. Secondly, we want to play around with different foot positions, toe positions, so a variety of different exercises or even using the same exercises with different foot placement can be beneficial. And lastly, the calves are used a lot. You're walking around, you're utilizing that muscle a lot, so recovery can be difficult if you're hitting them heavy because they're being torn down more. So I think to recover, you want to get more blood flow, maybe do some foam rolling or soft tissue work and a lot of stretching.